In the Old Testament, there is a section of books called Kings and Chronicles, and they detail the stories of King Saul and King David and King Solomon. And in the middle of that story, there's kind of this big drama that unfolds, this battle between Saul and David for the throne. David, who God has said is the rightful king of Israel, hasn't been allowed into Jerusalem because he's been fighting. One of his most faithful leaders was a captain named Jasabeam, which means the people will return. It means the people will return from the battle to Jerusalem. Well, we've been in our own battle here with a virus called COVID-19, and we will also return. On May the 2nd, we will return to in-person worship. We will return home to this place that is the place that connects you with God, that gives you a spiritual grounding. If you have questions or concerns about worship, I hope you will reach out and be in dialogue. You can reach me at my email, which is on the screen, or call the office at 551-7211. At their February meeting, the leadership board sat in the sanctuary, socially distanced, of course, and discerned the values they wanted for us as a worshiping community. Now, we think 50 plus of our people will return in May, 75% next September, but we recognize 20 to 25% will always watch online, either because they prefer watching church in their pajamas, or they're traveling, or they got up late, or it's just how they want to worship. So our value is to create a worship service where those online can participate alongside those in person. We believe this shift will live into our best value as a community, reaching new people, connecting across states with snowboards, allowing for being a church in a new way. And we hope some of the costs will be recoverable, as our sanctuary space can be used by other groups to provide alternative experiences in the world. The leadership team acknowledges that there is a risk with this endeavor, but there is also a risk in not choosing to adjust our technology. We will always be a hybrid community. There is no going back to Egypt, where technology was a choice. The leadership team has made some decisions to shift our sanctuary space. Now, we recognize these are significant changes, but we hope not too disturbing changes at the same time. The first is we knew before COVID that our speakers were on their last leg. Several of the horns weren't working. We knew the side speakers under the beams were totally blown. So the first step is replacing the speaker system with a new 21st century way to move and spread sound in our space. The second change is cameras. We want to be able to intentionally shift camera angles that show the chancel area, that's the platform, but they can move around without people causing line of sight issues. Plus, we want to be cautious about showing the people you worshiping. No one needs to see you praying. That is a holy private act we want to protect. Likewise, a single camera view just doesn't engage those participating online. It would be a voyeuristic experience. The third change is lighting. Now, right now, if you walked into church, you would find this set up for Sunday: camera stands and light boxes. Our sanctuary just doesn't produce enough light for you to see us on Sunday, so we have to supplement. However, this is a significant barrier, as you can see, for in-person worship. And if we don't light it adequately, there will be a barrier for those participating online. Hybrid worship that does both is our value. So we'll be raising the lights on a short trestle attached to the ceiling. The expensive part of this shift, though, is not in equipment, but it's in infrastructure and labor. It costs money to get this work done, and we want someone we trust to do the work right. So we've hired Chris and Chris. One Chris lives in Colorado, and Chris Jacobs lives here in Bozeman, and he is a sound engineer extraordinaire. We've worked with him for years to solve some of our sound problems, and you can see that they are already hard at work on what will take weeks to shift these systems. But we are spending money on the right infrastructure to support this system. We didn't buy the Cadillac version of speakers or cameras or lights, but we are hardwiring this entire system, so we're not reliant on a Wi-Fi structure that is unpredictable in Bozeman. Putting in solid infrastructure means we can upgrade later if needed. This is the why and the what we're changing in the sanctuary. And no, it isn't cheap. It's expensive. That's also the reality of COVID. So if you're able to give beyond your pledge this month, we would appreciate any extra funds. It's necessary for us to live into our value. We'll be utilizing building capital improvement funds to support these changes, but we also have to repair the front entrance doors that aren't working right after 25 years. And we have to replace the fire sprinkler control panel, which also has a 25-year limit. Thank you for your support of this congregation. Thank you for your generosity. And we hope to see you all, one way or another, when the people return.